Hi, I'm Danny.
And I'm Si. Welcome to Business in the Brew, a podcast dedicated to all things business with the occasional cuppa.
We take a business story, theory, or something we just want to chat about and give it a dusting of our own special personality and sense of humour, combined with our experience and knowledge. We're both business graduates and have run our own businesses for many years. We can't wait for you to listen. Hello.
Morning.
Hello. I want to talk to you about F1 and babies.
Ooh. Love them both.
You don't love Formula One, do you?
No, I like Formula One better than I like babies.
Oh, I think I like babies better than I like Formula One. Only because you can give them back afterwards. Also, I've never been to Formula One. But, interesting link between Formula One and tiny babies. But not just any tiny babies in Great Ormond Street Hospital with heart problems.
Really?
Yeah.
Is this tenuous?
No, it's not tenuous. It's very strong. It's a story. So, I'm going to tell you the story. Critically ill babies who'd undergone heart surgery faced a very, very high risk of complications and death during the transfer from the operating theatre to intensive care.
Right. Because
that's when you're most vulnerable. Mm-hmm. Intensive care, you've got all the stuff. Theatre, you've got all the stuff. The bit in between, dangerous. And the handover between the surgical and the ICU team, so that gap where you're vulnerable, could be 10 to 20 minutes of time. It involved up to 20 people, more than 50 process steps, and loads of pieces of data and things. And obviously, sometimes miscommunication and delays could cause unavoidable errors, which resulted in horrible, horrible outcomes for the tiny babies. So in 1999, Dr. Martin Elliot, who was a leading paediatric cardiac surgeon, and Dr. Alan Goodman, who was an intensive care specialist, and Formula One fans, noticed that their post-surgery handovers resembled something like an F1 pit stop.
Oh, so Penny just dropped them.
Obviously, if you've never seen Formula One, what are you doing? But the car drives into the pit lane. They get the wheels off, get the wheels back on, do any calibration, any work they need to do on the car within seconds, and then the car is back out there in the race with people out even blinking.
Yeah,
it's that efficient. The whole team works together as a single entity. Everyone's pulling together to do the thing.
Marginal gains. Yeah.
What?
Marginal gains, little tiny gains along the way. Actually improved all that iteration.
Oh. So they noticed this slick, efficient machine that was a pit stop crew, and they wondered if there was anything they could learn from the pit stop crew, because both situations, both the movement of babies from theatre to ICU and the pit stop, involved a time-critical transition, multiple specialists with distinct roles, all working together in sort of this ballet, equipment disconnection and reconnection, and communication under pressure. So they reached out to Ferrari's F1 pit crew team, which I think is pretty impressive. You see that and you go, hang on a minute, because they'd obviously got it nailed. So they reached out to Ferrari, and Ferrari invited Great Ormond Street Hospital team to their Maranello headquarters, which is Italy, I assume. I think it's Italy, yeah. To observe races in action so that they could study the choreography, the timing, the communications of the pit crews, and kind of work out what the secret sauce was to them getting it so perfect. And they discovered that F1 success isn't just speed. It's not just that these people are really quick at pulling off a tyre and putting a tyre back on. It's structure. They understand what they're doing. Everyone's got a role. Everyone knows exactly what they need to do and exactly when they need to do it, and it just works.
It does.
So the comparisons between the two. So in an F1 pit stop, they had dozens of tasks completed in seconds, whereas in the paediatric ICU handover, they had dozens of tasks completed in minutes. So you automatically had a time saving. Both of them had specialists with defined micro roles, whereas in the paediatric ICU, it was less defined. It was kind of like everyone kind of had responsibility and no one was ultimately responsible for each of the micro roles in it. A much clearer command hierarchy in F1, less so in paediatric ICU handover. You would have a lead nurse, you'd have a surgeon that directs, but ultimately there isn't one lollipop chap like you get in the F1, the one with a stick with the lollipop.
Coordinating. Yeah.
You've got no overlapping chatter in an F1 pit stop, partly because there's no way you can talk over the sound of those vehicles, but you didn't get the chatter, you didn't get the background, you just had one voice in command, one voice in control.
Yeah.
And they did error rehearsals, whereas the ICU never did simulation handovers.
Really?
They just kept iterating the process, or compounding their mistakes, whichever one you want to call it. But whereas F1 practiced and made sure there was rehearsals and they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
So after shadowing the Ferraris team, Great Ormond Street redesigned their handover process to rehearse before every surgery, so everyone knows their role and the order of operations. Appoint a handover captain. What a great name!
Wow.
So one person calls the sequence.
Do they have a lollipop?
No, unfortunately not. Can you imagine? Like a little baby on it. One calls the sequence and then the others confirm their task succinctly. Have you done this? Yes. Have you done this? Yes. To make it a structured checklist. Yeah. They literally borrowed from F1's process sheets.
Oh, brilliant.
No overlapping dialogue, so only one voice at a time, like the conch shell in that film about the boys on an island who ate each other. Lord of the Flies.
Lord of the Flies.
I don't know if they actually ate each other, but anyway. Physical positioning, just like a pit crew, everyone stands in the same spot each time, so you can't bash into each other, you can't fall over each other's feet, that kind of thing. And post-handover debriefs. So watching recordings, spotting micro delays and improving for next time. So it did become a really beneficially iterative process.
Brilliant. So people were under direct scrutiny that each time it was being recorded, or was it only being recorded during training?
No, each time it was being recorded.
Oh, wow.
So they could literally, I don't know if they still do it now, but certainly during that embedding period, if you like. And I imagine there is still a number of analytics in place now, because you're always going to want to keep improving where you can improve. And the stats are unbelievable. So before speaking to the F1, the technical errors per handover were on average 5.42. And afterwards they were 3.15, which is a reduction of 42% technical error rate, which is massive when you're talking about someone's life.
Yeah.
What I couldn't find, by the way, was any stats on actual number of deaths, because weirdly they don't report that kind of stuff because it's not very. So I'm not going to.
So we can assume though.
Yes.
That the death rates have been reduced.
They've definitely been reduced. I know that. I just don't know it by a quantitative number. So information emissions went from before the conversation 2.09 on average to 1.07. So again, a 49% reduction. These are massive reductions in data issues, technical issues. The handover duration went from 10.8 minutes to 9.4 minutes on average, down 13%. And that would have kept improving if they kept iterating the process. And the adverse incidents reduced significantly is the closest I could find to actual data. There will. But it's really fascinating that someone saw a parallel between something that was so different, that's a car with four wheels and whatever else. And when I was doing the research, there's like literal diagrams of an F1 car. You can imagine the outline of an F1 car with the placement of all these people. Then there's literally a diagram of the ICU cot, the little plastic
fish tanks.
Yeah, those kind of things. And one of those, and exactly the same, almost exactly the same. You've just taken the car out, put the fish tank in with the people around it, so everyone's got these exact defined roles. I just think it's amazing. It took someone with quite a lot of vision to link F1 and the process they were doing.
It would take an F1 fan to actually make that link, most definitely.
Yeah. Or a process fan, someone who loves processes and could see how valuable that particular process was. But the difference it's made to the hospital, and it was rolled out around the world, so now everyone uses the same, or a lot of people. Yeah, wow. So it went out to, where did it go out to? Australia. Later adopted in the US, Canada, and Australia.
Right,
became the system for the model for hospitals worldwide because it was so efficient and so slick. And they could see the process improvement, the reductions in information emissions and technical errors, and we're just like, yes, we need to do this to save more lives.
Yeah.
And I think that's amazing.
It is amazing. It is amazing. When you think about some of this process work that goes on, the marginal, I threw in marginal gains before.
You took the pin out and threw that.
Yes. And it's such a big thing in sport.
Yes.
Particularly football, rugby, cycling, the three that I can think of, which is where those marginal gains are made to each team player by improving their environment on the pitch, but also off the pitch as well. Their training environment, their dietary environment, and their sleep, around their sleep environment as well. I'm sure I've mentioned it on a previous episode.
It's not ringing a bell,
isn't it?
But it's very early in the morning, so
I've worked with a sleep expert who
we've definitely had this conversation. Whether it was on a podcast, a different matter entirely.
Probably. But what he was doing was responsible for introducing a sleep regime and routine to every sports team that he came into contact with, and he worked with Sky for the cycling team. Other cycling teams, I think it was the British cycling team, and also several football clubs. And he helped create pods and cots and also sleeping systems. So whenever players or Tour de France riders or whoever was travelling around, they had the same sleep environment in whichever hotel they went into.
Replicatable.
Yes. So this iterative process of taking out some of the things that are preventing recovery and preventing...
and they seem like, in and of themselves, small, insignificant things. So like having one voice take control in the ICU handover, having a sleep pod that replicates your sleeping environment at home. They seem tiny, but that's why they're called those micro gains, because each little thing contributes to the bigger picture in a really significant way.
Yeah. And go and apply that to your work environment, your own work environment, where you have people who are managed well, looked after, led well.
Yeah.
Have
somewhere to stand, only listen to your voice, get a lollipop, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, you can make tiny tweaks that will make massive differences, because they all build up and come together to form this efficiency of system. Nothing is too small that you can't look at it.
No, absolutely not.
And everything
can have a process to it that you can actually do something about.
It is a lot harder when you're a single entrepreneur, though, because the process is your process. Yeah, there isn't anyone. The only voice in the room is yours. No one's waving a lollipop. You're like, I'm just going to do this anyway.
I'm just going to go to sleep for a bit.
And it's harder to audit yourself. It's when you've got a team. It's quite, you can step back and you can see the whole team. When it's just you, you're like, it's the way I've always done it. It'll do.
But you and I both have teams around us, and we both have people that we, it's definitely difficult with a remote team.
Yes. Yes, because you don't know what they're doing half the time.
Right, yeah. You've got 20 minutes to go and have a kip.
Yeah. I always have a nap in the afternoons. That's part of my process. I don't have a sleep pod, though. I really like a sleep pod.
Is that an age thing?
No, it's not an age thing. It's an energy thing. I'm fully aware of my energy peaks and troughs during the day.
Yeah.
My energy is very high in the morning and very high in the evening, but low in the afternoon. And I'm like, I do this thing where I read stuff and then I just read something else and then I push things around. I just don't do anything practical. If I stop and either watch a program, eat something, sleep, I'm infinitely better, and then I smash it again in the evening. It's like someone turns me on and off during the day. So my batteries run down in the afternoon and I just need to plug it back in for a bit.
Brilliant.
It's just a me thing.
Yeah.
But imagine if I stayed in corporate, I never would have recognised that, and I would have been only 50% productive in the mornings and not in the afternoon.
Right. So this little system going on, this F1 / Great Ormond Street system, crossing over into other territories.
Yeah, well, in theory, yeah.
Are they actually, or is there any evidence that they've kind of used it in other areas? Is it all focused on babies?
So it is referenced by the WHO, the World Health Organization, in surgical safety training generally. So not just for baby heart things, So it inspired some later partnership between NASA and the NHS. So crew resource management training.
That is a massive thing.
It is.
Crew resource management or cockpit resource management in flying as well.
McLaren F1 and NHS for logistics and data analysis, and Red Bull Racing and air ambulance crews. And even years later, the F1 teams continue to advise hospitals on efficiency and human factor engineering.
Brilliant.
Which I think is amazing.
And do they do that out of the kindness of their heart, bearing in mind how much money they have? Or do they do it
I think they probably do, because you're talking babies with heart conditions, Si.
Well...
I mean, I don't. Do you know what?
Sorry,
that was not obvious during.
We love babies. We'll help you, but it's going to cost you $5 billion.
That sounds really mean. I can't believe anyone would do that. But I suppose, do you know what? There's not a single financial figure in all of my research. So I'm going to assume that it was all done because people care about the little babies.
That's a really lovely story.
It is a really lovely story, isn't it?
Yeah.
I want to go and cuddle a baby now. We don't have any of those here. Well, they're not allowed in the studio. They make way too much noise, wouldn't they?
No, but there's one on the way. So
Beg your pardon?
there's one on the way.
Oh, yes, the production crew. Sorry, I was very confused that someone was bringing a baby in. I was like, is there? How exciting. And they smell lovely too. Anyway, okay, so that is my story about F1 and babies.
Brilliant.
Thank you for listening. Okay.
Thanks for supporting us by downloading and listening to this episode.
And a massive thank you also to Dawney, Emily, Nat and Lewis and the BTD Studios for all your expertise in bringing our podcasting dream to reality.
We'd love it if you commented on this episode, as we'd really like to know what you think and what you might like us to cover in future episodes.
And we'll see you on the next one.